The wind whispered through the towering pines as I trudged through the darkness of Sector 13, my flashlight cutting through the night. The moon hung high, casting an eerie glow over the vast campsite. I was Arnold, a firefighter entrusted with the nightly patrol duties in this remote sector. My new assignment brought me near Sector 11, a part of the campsite that had been scorched by a devastating fire a few weeks back. I had heard rumors about the Night Watcher from Sector 11, a mysterious figure who continued to carry out their duties even after the tragic incident. Intrigued, I decided to strike up a conversation. His name was Harry, a lanky man with a weathered face that spoke of countless nights spent under the open sky. As we chatted during my patrols, I discovered that Harry had been the Night Watcher for years, a silent guardian of the campsite. He spoke passionately about his love for the wilderness and his commitment to keeping the campsite safe. Night after night, we exchanged stories and laughter. Harry shared his knowledge of the woods, cautioning me about certain areas that still smoldered from the recent fire. It felt good to have a companion during the lonely night shifts, someone who shared the same love for the quiet, untamed beauty of the forest. 3 weeks into our nightly conversations, my radio buzzed to life. Jeffy, from Sector 10, spoke in a panicked tone that sent a chill down my spine.
Arnold, you've got to listen. There's something wrong with Sector 11. Harry, he's not real. There's no Night Watcher in Sector 11. He died in that fire weeks ago.
Dread gnawed at my insides as I tried to make sense of Jeffy's words. I had spent countless hours talking to Harry, sharing jokes and fears. Was it all in my head, a figment of my imagination?
Determined to unravel the mystery, Jeffy and I met at the boundary between Sectors 10 and 11. The air in Sector 11 was thick with an unnatural stillness, and the charred remnants of the recent fire loomed like specters in the moonlight. Jeffy explained, his voice trembling.
Harry died in that fire. He was a loyal employee, but there hasn't been anyone assigned to Sector 11 since the incident. No one should be patrolling that area.
As we delved into the heart of Sector 11, the truth unraveled before us like a nightmarish tapestry. The footsteps we heard, the flicker of a flashlight in the distance, it was all a phantom dance of shadows. There was no living Night Watcher in Sector 11, only the lingering echoes of a lost soul. The climax approached as we stumbled upon a dilapidated shack at the edge of the sector. Inside, we found remnants of a makeshift camp, a tattered jacket, and a weathered journal. The pages told the tragic tale of Harry, a dedicated night watcher who perished in the line of duty during that fateful fire. Chilled to the bone, we realized that I had been conversing with the ghost of Harry, a spirit bound to Sector 11, unable to leave his post even in death. The bond we formed, the camaraderie that felt so real, was a haunting illusion crafted by the tormented soul of the Night Watcher. Together, Jeffy and I vowed to release Harry from his spectral chains. We performed a solemn ritual, reciting words of peace and closure. The air crackled with energy, and in the moonlit night, the ghostly figure of Harry dissipated into the darkness. As the last echoes of the ritual faded, Sector 11 embraced a profound stillness, and a heavy weight lifted from the air. The charred trees stood as silent witnesses to the tragic tale that unfolded in their midst. I returned to my patrols, haunted by the memory of the Night Watcher. The once lively conversations with Harry now felt like distant whispers carried by the wind. The forest, once a place of solace, now held the ghostly traces of a lost soul. The campsite, though still and silent, seemed to mourn the passing of the phantom Night Watcher. The mystery of Sector 11 was unraveled, but the memory of Harry lingered in the shadows, a reminder that even in the quietude of the woods, the echoes of the past could weave a haunting melody. Weeks passed, and the memory of Harry continued to haunt my nights. The woods, once a source of solace, now felt like a realm of lingering spirits. I couldn't shake the feeling that otherworldly eyes followed my every move during the night patrols. One evening, as I passed the boundary between sectors 10 and 11, a spectral whisper echoed through the trees. It was Harry's voice, a melancholic melody carried by the wind. He thanked me for setting him free, but the woods still held a restless energy. Determined to bring closure to Sector 11, I sought the help of a local shaman, rumored to have a deep connection with the spirit world. Together, we performed rituals to appease the lingering souls of the forest. The air crackled with energy as we chanted incantations, asking the spirits to find peace. In the climax of the ritual, the wind howled, and the moon seemed to shimmer with an ethereal light. Shadows danced on the edges of our vision as the spirits of Sector 11, including Harry, rose from the charred remains of the woods. A soft, otherworldly hum filled the air, and the spirits slowly dissipated, leaving behind a quiet calm. As the last echoes of the ritual faded, the shaman nodded, acknowledging the peace that had been brought to Sector 11. I thanked him, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. The haunted melody of the Night Watcher, though lingering in the memories, had finally been silenced. The campsite, once gripped by an eerie stillness, returned to its natural rhythm. The wind rustled the leaves, and the night embraced a serene quietude. I continued my patrols, now accompanied only by the gentle sounds of nature. The memory of Harry, the phantom Night Watcher, will forever remain etched in my mind. The experience had changed me, deepening my respect for the mysteries that dwelled in the heart of the woods. As I moved forward, I carried with me the knowledge that even in the quietest corners of the world, the past could echo in haunting melodies, seeking acknowledgement and release.
Story 2.
The night was still as our campfire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the surrounding trees. We were a group of friends, eager for a weekend escape into the wilderness. The air was thick with excitement as we settled around the fire, the flickering flames warming our faces. Someone unearthed an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. It was filled with peculiar drawings and cryptic symbols. As we flipped through its brittle pages, our eyes landed on a page that seemed to radiate an otherworldly energy. An ancient campfire song, supposedly cursed, scrawled across the parchment. Curiosity overcame caution, and soon the haunting melody echoed through the quiet night. The lyrics felt like a spectral whisper, and as we sang, a ghostly figure began to materialize in the heart of the flames. Its movements mirrored our song, a dance of shadows that sent a chill down our spines. Unease settled over our camp as the fire's glow intensified, and the woods responded with eerie echoes of the cursed song. We exchanged uneasy glances, realizing that something beyond our understanding had been unleashed. As the night wore on, the forest seemed to come alive with unseen entities. The wind carried the haunting melody through the trees, and we felt the weight of an ancient presence bearing down on us. Fear crept in as the ghostly figure in the flames took on a more defined shape, a faceless specter that danced with an unsettling grace. Tension hung in the air, thick with the scent of burning wood and an unspoken dread. Desperation set in as we tried to reason with the supernatural force that now held us captive in its twisted serenade.
We have to break the curse.
Someone finally stammered, their voice barely audible above the haunting melody that lingered in the air. The journal, our only guide, held clues to the curse's origin. We frantically flipped through its pages, searching for a way to end the spectral dance that entrapped us. The answers seemed elusive, obscured by the cryptic symbols and drawings that mocked our desperation. The climax approached as we stumbled upon a passage detailing a ritual to appease the ancient spirits. It involved extinguishing the cursed fire with blessed water and reciting an incantation to sever the connection between the song and the supernatural realm. Armed with newfound determination, we gathered what little courage remained and set out to break the curse. The forest seemed to close in on us, the song growing louder and more malevolent with every step. At the campfire's edge, we hesitated, glancing at the ghostly figure that continued its haunting dance. With a deep breath, we doused the flames with blessed water, watching as the spectral dancer convulsed before fading into the darkness. In the ensuing silence, we recited the incantation, our voices trembling with a mix of fear and hope. The woods responded with a final, mournful echo of the cursed song, then fell silent. Relief washed over us as the weight of the curse lifted, leaving behind a cold stillness. The forest, once alive with spectral energy, now embraced a quiet emptiness. We returned to our campsite, the cursed song replaced by the soft crackle of the dying fire. The journal, now devoid of its supernatural secrets, served as a chilling reminder of the thin veil between the mundane and the paranormal. As we packed up, the first light of dawn broke through the trees, dispelling the shadows that clung to the forest. The cursed campfire song, now just a haunting memory, whispered in the wind as a cautionary tale, a melody of caution for those who dared to uncover ancient secrets in the heart of the woods. Our journey back to civilization was marked by a strange quietness, a shared understanding that we had narrowly escaped a fate darker than any of us could comprehend. The cursed campfire song lingered in our thoughts, a haunting refrain that would accompany our dreams and nightmares for nights to come. Weeks passed, and the memory of that fateful night persisted like a ghostly echo. One evening, as I strolled through a park, I heard a familiar melody carried by the wind, a melody that sent a shiver down my spine. The cursed campfire song had found its way into the world beyond the woods, a reminder that some curses, once unleashed, are not easily contained. Haunted by the events in the forest, I became obsessed with understanding the journal's origins and the forces we had tampered with. Late nights were spent researching ancient curses, seeking knowledge that might unravel the mysteries of that cursed song. It was as if an unseen force compelled me to dig deeper, to uncover the secrets hidden in the folds of time. The climax of my obsession came when I stumbled upon an old legend, a tale of a forbidden ritual performed in the heart of an ancient forest, a ritual meant to bind the spirits to a haunting melody. The journal, it seemed, was a relic from that bygone era, a record of the dark arts that had been sealed away for centuries. Determined to end the curse once and for all, I gathered a new group of friends who shared my burden. Armed with the knowledge I had acquired, we ventured back into the woods, guided by an uneasy mix of fear and resolution. The cursed campfire song greeted us as we rekindled the fire, its ghostly melody echoing through the trees. The specter danced once more, but this time we were prepared. With a mixture of blessed water and incantations passed down from forgotten tongues, we fought to break the curse that clung to the haunting melody. As we completed the ritual, the air crackled with energy, and the ghostly figure convulsed before dissipating into the night. The cursed song faded away, replaced by a profound silence. The forest seemed to sigh in relief, and the weight that had burdened us lifted, leaving behind a sense of closure. We left the woods that night, the journal now a mere relic of the past. The haunted melody had been silenced, and the ancient curse broken. Yet, the echoes of that cursed campfire song would forever linger in our memories, a reminder that some secrets should remain buried, their melodies unheard in the quiet of the night.
Story 3.
The crisp autumn air cut through the darkness as our campfire flickered in the moonlit night. The shadows danced around us, casting an eerie glow on the towering trees that surrounded our campsite. We were a group of friends seeking adventure in the heart of a vast national park, far away from the noise of the city. As we huddled around the fire, sharing ghost stories and laughter, a sudden rustling in the bushes startled us. Out of the darkness emerged a figure cloaked in the uniform of a park ranger. He looked weathered, his eyes wary, as if burdened by an unseen weight.
"Evening, folks,"
he greeted, his voice low and haunting.
"I wouldn't recommend wandering too far into the woods. Dangerous critters out here at night."
We exchanged glances, but his presence reassured us. After all, rangers were meant to protect us from harm. He continued,
"Bears and wolves are common in these parts. Keep your campfire burning, and you'll be fine."
With that, the ranger vanished into the night, leaving us with a strange unease. We brushed it off as nerves, blaming the spooky stories we had shared. As the embers of the fire dwindled, we retreated into our tents, drifting into a restless sleep. In the dead of the night, a distant howl echoed through the trees. I awoke to the sound, my heart pounding in my chest. I unzipped my tent, peering out into the darkness. The fire had died, and an unsettling silence enveloped the woods. Worried, I woke the others. As we gathered around the remnants of the fire, we noticed peculiar symbols carved into the surrounding trees, symbols that seemed to pulsate with otherworldly energy. Panic set in as we realized the ranger's warning may have been more than just cautionary. In the dim light, we stumbled upon cryptic messages etched into the bark. "Beware the shadows," one read, while another warned, "The woods remember." Fear tightened its grip on us as we fumbled for an explanation. The night seemed to stretch endlessly, each creak of a branch or snap of a twig sending shivers down our spines. We questioned the ranger's authenticity, but no one had seen him since his initial warning. A sense of dread loomed over our campsite. As we clung to the dying embers, a ghostly figure emerged from the darkness. It was the ranger, his eyes hollow, his voice carrying a haunting resonance.
"You've awakened the curse that lingers in these woods,"
he whispered, his words chilling our souls. He revealed that he was not a living ranger, but a spirit bound to the park, forever tormented by an ancient curse. The symbols were markers of the curse, and only by solving the mystery behind it could we free him. The night turned into a frenzied search for answers. We deciphered the cryptic messages, piecing together the tale of a vengeful spirit seeking retribution for a crime committed centuries ago. As we delved deeper into the park's haunted history, the darkness surrounded us. The climax approached as we stumbled upon an ancient altar deep in the heart of the woods. The curse's source lay dormant, waiting to be appeased. The ranger guided us through a harrowing ritual, invoking long-forgotten spirits. As the curse lifted, the air crackled with energy, releasing the ranger from his spectral chains. With a final, grateful glance, the ranger faded into the night, leaving us alone in the silent woods. The symbols on the trees dimmed, and the unnatural stillness lifted. The first light of dawn broke through the canopy, casting away the shadows that had clung to the forest. As we packed up our camp, we couldn't shake the feeling that the woods were watching, that the ancient curse still lingered in the whispers of the wind. The vanishing ranger had left us with a tale to tell, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed in the heart of the haunted woods. We emerged from the woods changed, forever haunted by the knowledge that the supernatural was not a mere figment of imagination, but a lurking force, ready to awaken with the unknowing trespass of curious souls. The symbols and messages etched into our memories, we left the national park with a story to tell, a story that would echo in the depths of our nightmares for years to come. The vanishing ranger had become a ghostly legend, a spectral guardian bound to the woods, forever warning those who dared to tread into the heart of the ancient curse.